I was interrupted in mid-course with something I...
You can ask him now to the rest of the panel, sorry.
Yeah, no, I'm sorry. I just need to record my objection to being interrupted in mid-course. I never interrupt anybody, making a rule never to interrupt anybody, never to cut in on somebody else's questioning, and I have observed that. But if it becomes the norm, that is going to become the norm, well, then I will do so in kind. So I just want to register my protest. So, which area can I ask questions of now?
Well, there's a panel here.
And for how long?
The HSE panel is here.
Right, the HSE, can I ask the question you were suggesting should go to the HSE in relation to the degree to which the HSE has responded to the concerns, the pain and suffering, and the huge isolation and caused to the women who have been the victims? And is the HSE satisfied that it has responded sufficiently, with sufficient urgency, and that the issue remains at a high level of alert within the organisation? First question, Chairman.
Yeah, thanks, Chair. Yeah, so in terms of the response from the HSE, it was obviously focused around the CMO report and the recommendations contained within that. You'll see within the opening statement that the vast majority of those recommendations have been put in place. And our main focus has been that operational response and putting in place the 2 national units and having communication channels out to women who have suffered pain and suffering around how they can contact our services and engage with them. So that's been our main focus.
Has the HSE compiled a list and a priority list of the patients who have an urgent need of consultation, and has that consultation taken place?
I might ask Dr. Murphy to come in on that.
So there were 190 patients who made contact with the HSE. There was a designated emails, there was information put up on the HSE website. So all of those contacts were responded to. And then it devolves to the individual sites regarding appointments. And as we've heard, there's no waiting list in Cork. There's a number of women waiting in Dublin, but contacts have been made with anybody who have made contact. As you can see, there's a slight discrepancy in numbers as to what we heard earlier, but we obviously are dealing with people who have made contact with the HSE. There have been 2 mesh administrators, one in Dublin and one in Cork, who has contact and oversight on any of the clinical activity going on. There's proformas have been set up to collect data going forward. Guidelines have been set up, so there's been an awful lot of work done on the ground to address the issues that we acknowledge were, not dealt with well in the past, for sure.
What about the women who went overseas for treatment, which isn't highly regarded, or isn't regarded to the extent that it should be here? What about them? Was any advice available to them as to where they could go to most conveniently receive treatment as a matter of urgency?
So, I mean, I can't comment on individual cases, but nobody would ever be blocked from going abroad if they chose to go. I mean, if they preferred to go to a different centre. However, the HSE can only administer the treatment abroad scheme, so we cannot do so retrospectively, if you like. But it has always been the case in medicine that sometimes people will decide they wish to access treatment in London or elsewhere that they've heard is good, and that goes for fertility, goes for various other aspects of medicine, and nobody would stand in somebody's way in that, nor in fact would there be any barrier to anybody coming back from aftercare if that was the case. But I can't comment on individual cases myself in that matter.
Should there not be a system that would advise women as to the better service available and the options available in those circumstances, A or B, whatever?
Well, the NHS have designated mesh centres also. There's between 7 and 8 of them that are freely available on their website, where you can see where there are mesh centres with urogynecologists and neurologists working out of them. So they've done a similar system to what we have in Ireland. Obviously, a larger population affected, but that information is publicly available. Yeah.
Anyway, in conclusion, Chairman, could I, from the information made available to us already, and having listened to the women who were so affected, would it not be fair to conclude that a better organised system in terms of dealing with the situation in the first place, in referring the women to whatever, not just saying, well, look, you can go over whatever service you require, that would appear to be the case, but actually referring them to a reliable, known and reliable service, and for removal or post-treatment in the same fashion.
Thanks, Bernard. Again, we can discuss that in a private session. Right.